Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. This is Asinist Fire. I'm back on the way of Dharma. If you are new, please subscribe, like, and share. If you are old, please subscribe, hit the notification, and share. Okay. Today we will be talking about chakras, the 7 chakras in the human body. What are chakras? The name chakra implies that it's a wheel because it's a Sanskrit word meaning wheel. So what does the word will imply? It implies there has to be a certain movement. That's exactly what a chakra is. It implies that it carries forth energy and it causes motion throughout the body. Motion of what exactly? Motion of energy, life force, prana, as you might know it. It perplexes me to think of the meat, the flesh, generating electricity. Even if you can kill a cow or something, an animal, it lies lifeless. It can't generate any electricity, right? It can't generate any prana. There has to be a subtle aspect of it. The spiritual part of it has left the body at the time of death. So it isn't actually the meat that's generating electricity, the nervous system. It's not the nervous system. The electricity comes from a much subtler aspect of the human psyche or the any living being psyche, So how does it bring forth this life force to animate the flesh, basically? It brings it or it carries it forth by the way of chakras. Chakras are wheels of light within your psychic body. They rather transport energy into the human body to animate it, basically. So there's 7 astral chakras, wheels, that do this purpose. Now, when speaking of chakras, the most popular chakra that is surrounded by the most misconception is the third eye. The third eye is your 6th chakra, one that lies on your forehead, or rather, the physical representation of it would be likened to the forehead. It is used as a point of focus for the 6th chakra, the third eye. It governs your pineal gland. It is responsible for your imaginative faculty. It is responsible for clairvoyance. It is responsible for discernment, meaning judgment of character. Judging from what is right and wrong. Judging from the illusion and the real, the fake and the real. So there's 7 chakras. Before those chakras, there's much subtler astral pathways, which are called Nadis. There's so many Nadis, so many around the human body. I forgot the actual number of Nadis there are, but there's so many, and we choose to focus on 3 when doing Kundalini yoga. 3 Nadis, which are Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. The most important being the Sushumna. In order for the Kundalini to rise, you have to have energy or Shakti traveling in the Sushumna Nadi to make sure that your ascension is perfecto, to make sure that Kundalini is ascending up high into Sadashiva, the crown chakra, to meet up with Mahadeva. So the 7 chakras, you have your base chakra, which is Muladhara. Muladhara, its beej mantra is Lam. There's also many other bija mantras which are on the 4 petals. These 4 petals actually symbolize the nadis that I spoke about. there's nadis inside the chakra, and those nadis can be cleaned or rather stimulated with various sounds. Sounds like bam, bam. I'll do a meditation on those sounds basically. So this is the bija mantra, and then this is the chakra for your root, your muladhara. I don't like to say root chakra, it's muladhara. So this is the mantra, the symbol of the mantra. It's Lam. And then what do we have again? We have the second chakra, which is Swadhisthana or Svadhisthana. This is the bija mantra for Svadhisthana. Vam. And then we also have other bija mantras around inside the petals. In some images you might see it and it written in those inside those petals to stimulate and activate those astral nadis. For the third chakra, we have manipura chakra, the chakra of power. This is the bija mantra for manipura. Lam. We also have other bija mantras for the petals to actually activate the nadis. Okay. All these chakras have a ruling devata or devi, or both, to balance the equation. Unfortunately, I won't go that deep. And then for your fourth chakra, we have your heart chakra, anahata. The bija mantra for anahata is yam. Even on the petals of this chakra, there's also bija mantras to activate or clear out the pathways of the chakra. The fifth one is Vishuddha or Vishuddhi. It is the chakra of the throat, responsible for speech and creativity. This is the bija mantra for it, Ham. Inside the petals, there's also some other bija mantras like Aha, Aham, Aum, and many other more. This one, the one with the most misconception, is the third eye, also known as Agnya. It is responsible for clairvoyance, imaginative purposes, discernment, and those higher qualities, psychic abilities. The last one would be our crown chakra. The bija mantra for this is Om. For this one is Ksham and Ham and Sham. For this one is Om and all letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, basically. So the location of these chakras, for the first one, it's at the perineum, the point in between the anal cavity and the reproductive organ. The second one would be at your reproductive organ. The third one would be on your solar plexus. The fourth one, anahata, would be on your heart. The fifth one would be on the epiglottis, which is the throat chakra. The sixth one would be on your brow area, the area between your brows. And then the crown would be just above your head, basically. So chakras are always in motion, constant motion. They are only not in motion in the case of dead people. As long as you are still alive, they are still in motion. You often hear people saying that their chakras are dead. They might be blocked, they might be imbalanced, but they will never stop moving until you die, okay? And then, what else? You find people trying to open up the Theta Chakra. It is responsible for visions and clairvoyance, but I find it really, really amusing for the beginner, because the beginner thinks that they can just skip to the third eye and experience visions and experience all those psychic abilities. Some of you might, some of you are actually gifted and do see such visions, but the misconception surrounding the third eye chakra is not it's not what it's not surrounded mainly on your visions that you see and all those psychic abilities. You shouldn't misconceive or mistaken it only for those purposes. When your third eye is open, you might have a better discernment, to discern whether people are real in your life, whether you get along with such people, whether they have ulterior motives in your life, whether you can use imagination, and so whether you can start to have independent thought, whether you can start to see the system and the world as an illusion. That's basically the works of the third eye. It shows you that perception, you perceive life differently, whereas you were seeing yourself as this body, seeing your surroundings as what defines you, seeing people as people and not actually being divine and being souls in a bodily experience. So the third eye is all about liberating you from the perception that would otherwise enslave you. The third eye is all about moksha and enlightenment. That's why they say it's the chakra of Mahadeva or Shiva, because Lord Shiva and her wife Mahakali, they have the ability to cut through the physical illusion and show you the truth. How do you see the truth? By actually discerning. It goes back to the properties of the third eye. Discerning from what's vital to you as a soul and what's not vital to you as a soul. So it shows you that way of thinking. It opens your perception up to such a way of thinking. Then you get people eating shrooms and using all those psychedelics, trying to induce visions and stuff. Some of them do, most do, but then when the high goes off, they are still having that perception of low vibrating people. People are searching for how to tips on opening your third eye, as if your third eye is something to be glamorized, as if seeing visions is the end all and be all of spirituality. I was also like that as a beginner. Matter of fact, I even used binaural beats to activate my third eye, and I chanted mantras. I chanted the mantra Om to try and open up my third eye. What happened is this: I sort of like went outside of my body, and then I was lightheaded for a week or two, I think, floating above. I wasn't fully reintegrated into my body, and it was an uncomfortable feeling dizzy all the time because I wanted to activate my third eye. Man, it was pointless when I look back in hindsight. You shouldn't rush to open such things. Your third eye can open up just by doing simple things like meditation. How will you know when your third eye is open? Seeing visions is not a sign of third eye being opened or Agnya Chakra being opened. No. Having a different perception, seeing the fake from the reality of Mahadeva is actually having an open third eye. Stop trying to look for something else because you might hurt yourself. I floated above my body. I was lightheaded and I was dizzy. Something worse might happen to someone else. So stop trying to open up your third eye without trying to balance all your chakras. Now, on the subject of Kundalini, many people want to activate Kundalini. They texting me on Facebook. How do I switch on my Kundalini? I want my Kundalini to rise. Okay, the concept of Kundalini. Okay, we said you have 3 Nadis, major Nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. You have Prana, which you inhale from the air, most of it. You have Apana, which is the force of gravity or the force responsible for excretion, bodily excretions. Okay, the force that brings things down, and then Prana, obviously you inhale it. In order for your Kundalini to rise, Kundalini, what is it? It's an energy, a Shakti energy, a feminine energy that is supposed to rise within your spine, inside your spine, in the subtle part of your spine, in that Sushumna Nadi. It is supposed to rise and go up into your crown chakra to liberate you. Liberate you how? To have that perception of an enlightened being. As I am an occult practitioner, a sadhaka, I still have the system or Maya, the illusion, scamming me to a certain degree. So having Kundalini meet up with your Sadashiva or Mahadeva at the top of your crown, liberating you, it would mean that your perception becomes beyond consciousness. It goes beyond into eternal nothingness. Okay, you get liberated. Basically, that's the point that I'm trying to make here. You get liberated. So Kundalini, when it liberates you, your consciousness, your perception, it's no more lower, and nothing can touch you. It's nothing like now you start to become like Superman. They can't touch you. No, this is how it goes. Your consciousness, it gets elevated to a certain degree whereby the happenings of the physical earth can't harm you anymore. Remember what I told you about the mob beating me up? I couldn't take it in my mind that they were beating me up. I couldn't accept them trying to kill me. So that perception is part of the example I'm trying to make here. Remember, I also said the physical body and everything around on earth are energy, and they are the same thing. So when you have that perception of non-discrimination of eternal bliss, of moksha. It comes across as though you are a human being that has supernatural powers, but essentially what is, there's no filter to filter you into thinking or discriminating yourself, your body, from every other material thing on earth. So that filter, when it goes off, it opens you, it liberates you to many other possibilities, man. Walking on top of water is one of them. Breathing underwater is one of them. Chilling underground, walking on coal is one of them. What is that? It's essentially that perception. You get that perception of enlightenment. Now the Kundalini is actually a fire, a Shakti fire, that is supposed to go up your spine to unite with Mahadeva or Shiva, Sadashiva, on your crown. Okay, so when you find people saying, I want to activate my Kundalini, in order for your Kundalini to activate, you have to start and take prana, that force that you, life force that you inhale from the air, and apana, the constant force that's always pulling down, the one responsible for excretory purposes. You have to combine them. After combining them and bring them into the nadi inside your spine, which is what? Sushumna. So you bring it into Sushumna, and then Kundalini will start to rise from your Muladhara chakra, the beginning of your spine, the perineum, the base of the spine, and then it will rise, because essentially, you know why? You would have suffocated it. Bringing that apana and prana inside and squeezing them, it causes an explosion of Kundalini from your Muladhara chakra to go up. Now somebody thinks that they can raise their Kundalini without going through the preliminary exercises of actually doing so. We have exercises that are designed for that. Kundalini yoga is one of the ways where you can attain enlightenment through Kundalini. You know, Kundalini yoga has such exercises for raising your Kundalini. When you do pranayama, breath work, you are essentially trying to activate your Kundalini, trying to control prana so that you can bring it inside the Sushumna for enlightenment. So guys, stop coming to me and asking me, how do you awaken Kundalini? Go and read. Go and read. Stop reading Western books about Kundalini. Go to Dharma and learn about Kundalini and do Kundalini yoga. And stop. I don't know if I'm wrong. Maybe my Kundalini hasn't risen, okay. But the common conception in the West, or among many other witches and occult practitioners, they liken Kundalini to their sexual arousal. You find somebody aroused saying, my Kundalini has risen. The very same person, I call the mob upon them. The mob beats them up and then they die. And then they die. But they say that the Kundalini has risen. You understand the misconception. This is why I left the Western magical practice to pursue something that has much more structure. Kundalini Chakra. Those are the names that come from the Sanskritam vocabulary and Sanskrit literature. So what's the best way, or where's the best source of education for such things other than the Sanskrit literature? You tell me. Okay, so Kundalini is essentially Shakti energy. It is there to liberate you in terms of what? In terms of perception. If you try to raise Kundalini prematurely, you will suffer the consequences. I've also tried doing such, and these exercises can be dangerous because it is actually a fire. If your body is not clean enough, if your nadis are not clean enough and trying to open up Kundalini, man, even in my pranayama, because my diet isn't as pure as it was prescribed in the yogic books. Sometimes I play with pranayama, I do pranayama, kapalabhati, bhastrika, and then there becomes a fire inside here, and then it causes indigestion. It causes me to want to vomit. It actually burns, guys, and you can actually get sick from it, from premature Kundalini awakening. So be aware, take baby steps, start with a yoga asana to develop your mind, to be strong, to develop willpower, to be strong, and then embrace or embody, no, not embrace, embody the qualities of a pure person who is essentially mentally strong and capable to what? And capable to and able to harness the Kundalini energy when it rises you, or rather be strong enough so that when the Kundalini rises, it doesn't harm you because of the toxicity that is in your body, via way of mindset, via way of diet, via way of being dirty, essentially. This is Arsonist Fire. I hope I've covered most of the things that were plaguing you around chakras and Kundalini. We will do pranayama on our channel. We will do those meditation sounds for balancing your chakras. We will do, what else will we do? Oh, I will also upload a guided meditation ritual for prosperity. There will be mantras. There will be Ashtotara Shatanama valleys, which are 108 names, chanting on the channel. And please stay tuned, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, share to your friends and family. And guys, please celebrate with me. I was able to buy these. All because of you guys, your support. It motivated me so much to a point whereby I used my money to actually improve our content, improve our teachings. It's not our teachings. These are the teachings of Dharma. This is the way of Dharma. Arsonist Fire. Namaskara.